I'm Chris from Nerd Alert News, a proud member of the Gonna Geek Network, just like the show you're listening to right now. The opinions expressed are those of the individual host. Check out all the other great podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You have been granted clearance by Director Phil Coulson. Stand by for S.H.I.E.L.D. debriefing. All information to be discussed here is classified and may only be discussed among agents granted clearance by the S.H.I.E.L.D. Director.
Now it's time for your scheduled debriefing. I'm Agent Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
Welcome to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a Marvel Comic Universe fan show. This is show number 140, discussing the Daredevil Season 2, Episode 9, 7 Minutes in Heaven. This show is recorded on Wednesday, August 24th, 2016. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. is a fan-based podcast on the ABC television show Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Luke Cage on Netflix, and the general Marvel comic universe.
Because of the hallway fight scene, part 2.
If you'd like to talk to us about the ongoing saga of hallway fight scenes, you can visit our website, legendsofshield.com, where you'll find all of our contact information. You can leave us a voicemail at 844-THE-BUS-1. That's 844-843-2871. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Tumblr by searching for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. And we are a part of the Gonna Geek Network, and you can find all of the network's video casts at youtube.com/GonnaGeek.
This time on Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., we're going to be starting off with our giveaway. We're going to be talking about Daredevil. We're going to be talking about the weekly Marvel news, your feedback, and highlights from our live chat room, which tonight is on firetalk.com. First of all, I've got this great RFID shielded S.H.I.E.L.D. wallet. It is still in the package. It was purchased by me at C2E2 in front of the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. founder. That would be The Beef. And Chris from All Things Good and Nerdy, Starling Tribune, GonnaGeek.com, and Nerd Alert News. So what are we asking people to do, Haley, to actually win this wallet?
Well, we know whoever the winner is going to put their money into this wallet and then take that money out and spend it on things. And we want to know if Tony Stark had this wallet and was doing the same thing, what would he be taking his money out to spend it on? And it needs to be the most ludicrous, ridiculous thing you can think of him spending his money on. And you need to entertain us with your thoughts. You can send those to us in a voicemail on Facebook and Twitter. Send us an email. Don't put it in any of our chats or anything like that because those disappear and we can't find them anymore. So anything that we'll have a record of. And you need to let us know by
September 14th, 2016.
September 14th.
Were you going to say send it to us on Tinder? Because, I mean, you could, but I'm not sure any of us are on Tinder.
I'm not on Tinder.
No,
Haley.
I just can't talk. I said Twitter.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm having head problems today, so I might be just mishearing things all over the place tonight. It's going to get real interesting.
It might have sounded kind of like Tinder. It's getting worse. We're going to move on. Yeah, send us stuff. Make us laugh.
Let's face it, that would be the most interesting Tinder thing. Like, I mean, maybe
I
not
feel
the
like
most
that's probably the
interesting.
female version of Grindr.
What, Tinder?
No, Titter.
Oh, that's true.
That's what I said the second time I couldn't say Twitter.
Okay, you need to patent that and then make Tony Stark money.
That is what Tony Stark would spend his money on.
Yeah, Titter. That's right. Well, we did have it. Whoa, I'm having problems with my microphone tonight, too. None
of us are doing well
coming
tonight.
It's total car wreck right now. We did have an actual entry into the contest by friend of the cast at Born to Eat Bacon on Twitter. And he said, hey, Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., Tony Stark bought the dark side of the moon. Why? he needed a place to store his extra suits that Pepper Potts wouldn't find. That was pretty cool. Born to Eat Bacon. We will throw you into the hopper with all of the other suggestions that we've had so far, including apparently Haley has now entered it with Titter.
Let's face it, the Dark Side of the Moon thing is also thematically appropriate because of all his, 70s rock t-shirts. So he needs someplace to store suits that matches his shirts.
He needs storage space. I mean, with all the stuff that you can accumulate, where do you go? You go to the Dark Side of the Moon. That's because nobody will see it. It's dark. Doesn't have any light. There you go, right?
Or you could buy it, buy the trademark for it, and then sue Michael Bay.
I think suing Michael Bay would probably be pretty easy if you baited him into it.
I'm sure plenty of people have a lot of reasons to sue Michael Bay.
That's right.
Pretty much, probably.
Like anybody that likes the Transformers. But in any event, here is the wallet one last time. If you're watching the video, it is a shielded, embossed shield, RFID shielded wallet. So
Shield Square wallet.
There you go. All right, we're going to move on to the main event. So
that's a cool new bump.
It is a cool new bump. It is so cool. And it's not cool. It's not new. It's old. I actually stole it from my archive over at Voices Defiance. And we used it earlier this summer on Lauren's Comic Palooza interview podcast. You want to hear another one?
Sure.
There we go. Those are some bumps from Voices of Defiance that are on my soundboard. Now for Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D.
R.I.P. Defiance.
Yes, R.I.P. Defiance. I missed that show. Tony Kern was amazing, and unfortunately, we got him very briefly as an uncasted Men in Black in X-Men First Class.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if he can be used in the Marvel Universe anymore.
Technically, he is. He was Bor in Thor.
That's right. That's right. He was Bor, wasn't he?
Or Thor 2.
Wait, who was?
Tony Curran.
He was also
Odin's
in
dad.
Daredevil this season.
Oh, yeah, he was.
So he was an alien. And
he's an alien and a mob boss.
And himself. Yeah. Okay. There you go. And in
I don't remember that. We talked about it when he came on.
I mean, if I couldn't remember bump music, it's not really a surprise.
No, I meant SP. He should have remembered.
Exactly.
Because we've talked about it about 4 times now.
Like none of us can remember anything tonight. It's the wheels are coming off.
It's the podcast that was never meant to be.
So Daredevil, 7 Minutes in Heaven. It was directed by Steven Surjik, who is no stranger to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. He has 46 total directing credits stretching back to 1985. And no, we're not talking about Back to the Future. Let's go over some of the directing credits. An episode of The Kids in the Hall. An episode of The X-Files. I know we have a lot of X-Files fans that listen to the podcast. 2 episodes of Monk. An episode of Eureka. An episode of No Ordinary Family. 6 episodes of Warehouse 13. 10 episodes of Burn Notice. I knew I liked this guy. A lot of people like The Blacklist. He directed an episode of that. He directed an episode of Arrow. And if you want to hear about Arrow, go over to the Starling Tribune, also found on the Gonna Geek Network. An episode of Flash. And if you like Flash, go listen to The Crimson Comet, also over on the GonnaGeek.com network. And you might hear some familiar voices on those podcasts. I don't know.
Is it me? I bet it's me.
2 episodes of Jessica Jones, 3 total episodes of Daredevil, and my personal favorite of all this list, 7 episodes of Person of Interest, which was a great series while it was on. They kind of wrapped it up. Not as tidy as I would have liked, but they did go ahead and wrap it up. And then he was a producer for both Burn Notice and Warehouse 13. It was co-written by Marco Ramirez, who has several directing credits, including one for The Defenders, which is upcoming. 6 total of Daredevil. 1 from Fear the Walking Dead, 2 from Orange is the New Black. Are either of you two Orange is the New Black fans? I can't remember.
Very much so,
I am.
yes.
I love
Okay.
that show.
I have not seen a single episode, but I know a lot of people love that show. And 3 episodes of Son of Anarchy. Is that series over with now? Or?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It started off good, got a little weird, ended really weird, but there's a lot of good-looking guys. Charlie Hunnam gets naked a lot. And if you want to hear more about Sons of Anarchy and con experiences, I talked about it on the Gonna Geek podcast a couple months ago.
Yes, you did, about their wonderful, and a lot of them came back to the Houston area for another con and actually.
Yeah, Charlie Hunnam came back to foster a little goodwill after all the stuff that went down with another con that happened here.
And they honored some of the tickets that were bought at the other convention as well. And Marco also produced, he's a producer for The Defenders coming up. He is a producer for Daredevil, Fear the Walking Dead, and Da Vinci's Demons. Now, the co-writer is Lauren Schmidt-Hissrich, who has 8 total writing credits, and some of which include 3 of Daredevil, 20 of The West Wing, and 4 of The Private Practice. She also produced Private Practice, Parenthood, Do No Harm, which I've never watched, Power, another one that I haven't watched, but I think a lot of you have, Daredevil, and The Defenders. So, question, ladies, what does 7 minutes of heaven mean?
Well, it's a game where you and somebody else go into a closet and then you have to kiss for 7 minutes.
You have to.
I knew that meaning, but I don't know how it relates to the episode at all.
Yeah, what was it?
Kissing?
Because
I assumed it was because Frank got into the prison block with the other dude.
yeah, for just a couple of minutes. I thought it was that, and then the hallway scene afterwards. Maybe that was all total 7 minutes. I don't know. Seemed to drag on longer than that, but maybe.
Okay, so it's
Narrative
like
device.
getting locked in to make out with somebody for 7 minutes, being played against him, being locked into a meat grinder for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And coming out victorious.
So
Yep.
much less kissing and much more blood.
a lot of blood.
A lot
my
of blood.
gosh! Did you watch
I
the whole
knew,
thing?
yeah, I knew Frank was going to get the crap kicked out of him because he was starting to heal up again. And that's what happens. Anytime he starts to look almost decent, oh, we got to kick the crap out of Frank again.
Yep.
So there was a lot of blood. There was an incredible amount. I had to look away a couple of times when he was going after people's necks and eyeballs, and it's just, it was raw.
It was like a Walking Dead flashback with him driving the knife into people's skulls.
Oh, it was amazing. And I would like to take this moment to say that friend of the cast, Ferris, wanted to be here tonight to talk about the episode, but he couldn't. He had family obligations. But he would go gaga over that whole fight scene. That fight scene was amazing. I forgot about that fight scene. I remembered Fisk and the Punisher in whatever that room was. I don't know if that room is an isolation cell, if it's a morgue, if what that was. But I remember their fight there. But I didn't remember the hallway fight. And that was just amazing to watch because the Punisher, he that was amazing to be able to get through that. And matter of fact, I almost thought he could take on those cops when they were coming in their riot gear afterwards.
When I
too.
first saw it, I thought he was going to, when they put the tear gas, I was like, oh, don't do that. You'll just make him angry. But no, they took him down.
Don't
But
make
yeah,
him angry.
the hallway fight scene here is the thing that I think I most remember about this season, because seriously, I want to spend I don't know, 5 incoherent minutes gushing about how awesome John Bernthal is as Frank Castle. And then you go with that matched up against Wilson Fisk, especially that scene where they're talking in the workout yard. And they're both just contained angry, but it's 2 different types of contained angry. You have Fisk, who's this violent, we're familiar with it. He's biting back all of his words, and you have Frank, who's got this kind of hangdog look to him, kind of sad look to him. But you know that of the 2, he's probably the more dangerous physically. And you have Fisk, who's the more cerebral one. And it's just such an interesting power play between them. And I absolutely loved every minute that those two were on screen together. It was when I was doing the live tweet yesterday, those parts were the hardest parts for me to tweet because I just did not want to look away from the screen.
I know. I was watching it last night too. Now, Haley, if you take a look at the Fisk flashback scenes, how they caught us up on Wilson Fisk, because last episode ends with Wilson Fisk just appearing in the yard. You see what happens after he is basically prosecuted last season, and he's brought into the prison and into the white jumpers and on. How did you like that flashback catch up?
It worked for me because, you know, if you put that earlier in the season, you're telegraphing when he's going to come back in. I don't even remember. I'm trying to remember now if we knew beforehand that he was supposed to come back this season. And I don't think we did.
I don't think we did. It was a pretty big surprise to me when he showed up. And one of the things that I did like about that flashback was that they told so much with mostly just the visual language of it. Mm-hmm. Like you see the new guys wear white, and then we see
Kingpin
him again,
in a white
he's wearing
suit.
orange. Yeah, he's Kingpin in a white suit. We see him again, he's wearing orange, so you know time's passed. And you see him talking to that new guy. He's like, yeah, we need to stick together because, you know, we're not meant to be in here. You see him again, that guy's part of his like protection posse. And they're talking about running all this stuff in the prison. So you see this dynamic, you know, power change, and you get the sense of what's gone on. You don't have to have actually seen all the little details. It's just enough to have a clue.
Mm.
It was interesting that Wilson was throwing just about everything left that he had, still trying to protect Vanessa on the outside. But he's like, I need to take these steps in order to set things in motion, to turn things for me, because otherwise it's just, I'm not going to last in here. You know, eventually somebody's going to ship me or whatever. And I could see him thinking that, like, okay, I got to be good because I want to get out for Vanessa. And then all of a sudden he's like, you know, I have to play the long game here. I don't just want to get out. I want to get out on top. I want to get out of prison and already re-own New York. And what's the best way to do that? Get Punisher in, take out his immediate threat within the prison, and then send him out, and then he can wrecking ball everything else out there, including the Yakuza, who we get Nobu back.
Yeah, remember that time he was set on fire and died?
Yeah, he got over it.
He got over it.
Now, if I remember correctly, the body was just mysteriously gone after it was burned, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. And what did he say?
Better.
There is no such thing as death.
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
Awesome.
As he wheels away his sarcophagus that they've been pumping blood into.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah, that's not ominous or creepy at all.
It almost looks like a cannon. So it's like, well, they're putting all this blood in this and they're going to shoot it off as a cannon, right?
It's like
Gonna
one of
be
those
like-
confetti guns. Only.
It's going to be like the elevator scene from The Shining.
Or a circus
But,
cannon.
you know, festive.
When a little guy gets shot up all the way in blood.
Yeah, just put some glitter into the blood and it'll be like, you know, a festive.
It'd be like Halo
Blood
when you turn party
shooting.
mode on and you kill the grunts. Yay! So I remember the first time I watched it, I didn't know who that was until that blade on the chain comes down. And then I was like, oh, is that Nobu, or is that like something that all these Yakuza know how to do?
Yeah, you see the Kasarigama, and at first I didn't really think anything of it. But then he starts talking and I'm like, wait a second. And then he mentions, you know, you still have the scars. And I'm like, wait a second. And then he takes off the mask and his face is all scarred up. And I'm like, oh no.
Oh no. He was awesome in the fight. I seem to remember him and his and Daredevil fight a little bit more evenly matched the first time around. But...
the first time they fought in season 1, it was not so evenly matched.
Right, because
I mean,
Daredevil got all cut up and stuff like that.
He was basically a meat skewer.
Yeah.
Here, I would say it's a bit more evenly matched.
He still gets thrown across the room.
He still gets thrown around, but he doesn't end up a meat skewer.
And he's got better armor this time, too.
Well, also, Nobu doesn't end up on fire.
It's a bonus for him. Yeah.
I mean, any day you end up not on fire is a good day, really. So
Unless
They both came out better this time.
it's
yeah, I'd say that's a win.
they're friends now after their breakup.
Oh, speaking of breakups.
Yes.
Foggy and Matt.
Oh.
Foggy and everybody, Matt and everybody, Karen and everybody.
Yeah, this is the breakup episode.
Nothing left of Nelson and Murdoch. Avocados at law. Nothing left. A coffee cup, maybe.
Seriously, is it just me, or is Matt just the worst friend this season?
It's hard to like him.
Yeah.
I know he's got just his own stuff going on, but you're right. It's so hard to like him this season.
He's like that friend that's going down a very dark path that you're trying to help out, but at the same time, you're like, is this really worth it anymore? I mean, at some point in time,
you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. Yeah, he's decided this is what he's going to do right now. There's nothing you can do to dissuade him from that. So
he's making terrible life choices.
But I did catch that the reason why Karen did leave him is because the woman in his bed. And she didn't even find out what the woman was doing there. See, that's stretching it too far.
See, I didn't think it was so much, that it was a woman in his bed, but he's keeping secrets from her. This is one of many secrets that he's keeping.
And the woman is just the last straw.
Yeah. It's not like she thinks he's cheating. It's just
being a bad friend. He's not showing up at work on time. He's just got all these secrets. And finally she shows up. There's a woman in his bed and she's like, you know what? I don't need this.
We do learn the secret of Karen, or at least part of the secret of Karen, with the research that Ben did on her. Now, we don't actually get a chance to read it all. And I remember...
I freeze-framed it. Yeah. And it only shows you, the very beginning of this article. And all it's talking about in those first few paragraphs is Kevin Page, who I'm assuming is her brother, was killed in a car accident. Single car collision. And I click, 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 pausing and playing to see if it shifted. I tried to use that feature they had in Blade Runner where you zoom out and zoom in onto a part that's not in the frame. Yeah. It wasn't working for some reason. No, there's no real information about her in the article. I'm assuming that was in one of the other articles or farther down in that article, but all you get is that her brother was killed in a car accident.
Wow. Or somebody named Kevin with her same
Kevin Page. Yeah, it doesn't, not necessarily her brother, but they brought up her brother this season.
Yeah. Wow, I didn't catch it the first time around. I don't remember reading anything about that online either. So thank you very much, Haley. That really brings a lot of closure to that brother thing. Wow. That's heavy.
But, and obviously she has some sort of guilt about that. So presumably we don't know what happened, but.
Was that a car in the picture?
There's a page on Kevin Page in the Marvel Cinematic Universe wiki.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, one day at about 1:40 p.m., Kevin Page was driving his car while heading east on Vermont Route 12 from the Hill Road exit ramp off Interstate 89. Page veered off the roadway into a chain-link fence. The responding medical services sent his body to Windler Medical Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. It took some time before the state police were able to resolve the investigation of the incident. And I guess that was gleaned from a screen cap that, you saw.
Yeah, that was in that article.
Okay.
I'm taking a look at it.
So what was
Karen's that's what it says in the article.
What was Karen's
It doesn't say.
Yeah, it doesn't. Her name isn't even mentioned in the part of the article you can see.
Yeah, I'm gonna link it in the chat.
Okay. Well, that is awesome to finally learn there, and it might explain her drive to make things right. Like, she's got nothing left to lose, so let's make sure the same thing doesn't happen to somebody else. I don't know.
I'm assuming she feels some sort of guilt about it. She was either the reason he was out there, or she was in the car with him and somehow caused the accident. Something will come out about her involvement in that.
Yeah.
In season 3.
I mean, was she driving drunk or something and then switched, around, like after the crash, like switched seats with him or something?
Or he had picked her up and she had jerked the steering wheel at some point or something like that.
Could be. We
Did someone ran into him on purpose for some reason that had to do with her? We don't know.
Yeah.
We probably won't know maybe until next season.
Yeah, which will be after the Defenders now, right? The Defenders is the next time we'll see Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. There was some other fights. There was the Daredevil at the farm fight. We talked about that with Nobu, and we talked about the Fisk Punisher fight. So really no other fight. Do you guys remember any other fights of note? I mean, there was the car garage thing, but that wasn't really a fight.
Yeah, I feel bad because this show is called Daredevil. Matt is the main character, but I don't know, for the past couple episodes, I just want to see everybody except Matt.
Right?
He's not a likable character this season at all.
He's very good at giving like sad, lingering looks as like people walk out of frame. But other than that, like I wanted to see Karen's stuff. I wanted to see Elektra's stuff. I wanted to see Foggy's stuff. I wanted to see Castle's stuff. It's like right now, Matt's having the least interesting stuff.
Foggy really came out in this episode for one specific line that he said. I mean, a lot of stuff with Foggy was great, but one thing he said that really resonated with me was, I was my best self that day. We should have won that Frank Castle thing. I don't know what went off the rails. We find out what went off the rails later because Wilson Fisk got to him, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But
which you could kind of tell from when that guard talked to him right before he went on the stand.
Right.
Yeah.
But then Foggy said, I was my best self that day. So he knew that he was doing the right thing at the right time, and things just weren't working out, and he needed a new lease on life. And if I remember the next couple of episodes correctly for Foggy, he takes kind of an interesting journey of self-discovery.
I can't blame Foggy. I mean, there are sometimes if you're in a toxic relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's, an actual romantic relationship, whatever, there are some times when you got to realize it's just in your best interest for your own mental health, your own physical health, whatever, to just take a step back and do your own thing. And that's what he's doing right now. And it really is best for him.
Yeah. Personally and professionally.
Exactly.
Yeah, Matt's being a terrible friend. He's being an even worse business partner. You can't work with somebody who's, not going to show up, 80% of the time at this point.
Yeah.
He's trying to run a business. Matt's making decisions on his own for the business and then not dealing with the consequences of it. He chose to take on the Frank Castle case, and then he didn't help with it. And his actions have prevented them from getting new clients. Of course, Foggy's got to dump him professionally.
Yep, totally see it coming. I mean, it was painful before, but it was like, okay, it's over. Let's move on. Let's go through this final breakup.
It's sad, but you kind of saw it coming.
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things of note that we haven't talked about yet. First of all, Frank Castle actually kills either the guy that killed his family or the guy that ordered his family killed, whatever, with Dutton. So I think that's important for the overall story. And then the other thing is Karen Page is uncovering this huge conspiracy again, which is what Karen Page does within New York.
I love her scenes where she comes in and Foggy's trying to like break it to her gently, like, hey, all this stuff's going on with Matt. And she's like, yeah, whatever. Look, here's all this stuff that I've been doing. And it's really important because, this is her thing now. She has her own. I mean, last season, it felt like she was part of their storyline. Now she has her own storyline moving forward. And I really liked that. She's finding her feet as a character. And as, in character, she's finding her own direction, kind of taking up Ben's mantle.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. The office hasn't been touched. Ben's deceased. His wife is deceased. There's nobody really to clear out his office. So I thought it was interesting that the editor kept the office unoccupied.
It was like a shrine.
Almost, yeah, because you think in a busy paper, but maybe the paper's business is declining and he just didn't have the money to hire somebody to throw in that office. But the office was available, and I can't remember if Karen eventually cleans it up or not, but there's an awful lot of Ben in there. It's just as he left it, and it's kind of a sad reminder of Ben. It would have been nice to have him around, but that was.
What if we get him as like a Force ghost?
I mean, it's comic books. Anything can happen, right?
Right. Exactly.
Here you go.
We have undead ninjas running around. Maybe we can have Ben as a Force ghost. Old Ben, come on.
You mean Old Ben Ulrich?
That's the name I've not heard in a long time. Like since last season. I say as I sip tea from my Jabba the Hutt mug.
Right. Jabba.
Thank you. I'd like to thank @Born to Eat Bacon for this Jabba the Hutt mug. It has served me well.
It's nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to bring it up while we were talking about Frank, but we also learn that the death of his family was part of some sort of police sting.
That's right. That is what Karen basically uncovers.
That's what she uncovers. Because the John Doe was an undercover police officer.
So quick question. When Frank Castle left the prison in riot gear and he takes off the helmet and gets in the car, he's not driving, right? Somebody else is driving him off?
Yeah, someone else is driving.
Okay. Because you wouldn't want Punisher driving a car around New York. That's not going to work well.
No, he drives a panel van.
Yeah.
We're used to. Do you guys know what the Rising is?
Well, from this one book series that I like, it's when all the zombies come to life. But I don't think that's what it is in the Marvel Universe.
Okay. That's
also, when they got into the farm blood bank, whatever thing, that made me think a lot of Blade.
Yes. There was a lot in this episode that made me think of Blade, actually, like the sarcophagus. It reminded me a whole lot of Blade.
Ninja vampires. And I remember what happened with the accountant's son coming up, but that was interesting to find out that the accountant's son was actually in the blood bank because he runs right over to him and they, tries to get him out, whatever. And we see the little spoiler, won't say what happens, but that continues on into next episode.
But Marvel Studios does have the right to Blade again. So
yeah,
they could bring him in if they wanted to.
There's talk that we might be getting a Blade series on Netflix at some point. So
maybe that's what's down in the hole.
Did we just lose SP?
No, he's just invisible now.
Oh,
really? Are you
invisible SP?
I can see you guys, and you can't see me. Can you hear me?
Can't see you at all.
Yeah, we can hear you. We just can't see you.
Well, let's keep going.
That's okay. We like it better with the helmet on.
Do you guys have anything left on the episode here?
Nope, that's the last that I had.
All right. Lauren?
It's kind of interesting how Kingpin was able to sort of subvert Frank. But yeah, that's really it.
Okay. Any quotes, Haley?
Nope, I didn't take notes this time.
Okay. The tide raises all ships. That's something from Wilson Fisk, trying to convince the Punisher that what he's doing, yes, it's self-serving for Wilson, but it also will help him. It's the only other quote I have down for the episode. All right, we got another great episode coming at you next week. Stay tuned, because let's just announce this right now. I won't be here next week. The ladies will be recording on their own, and we will pump the episode out, but it won't be live next week. So the next time we're going to be back live is in 2 weeks. In the meantime, let's get on to some news. All right. We have a lot of news. Let's get through it really quickly tonight before all technology fails us. And first story is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Jason O'Mara.
Let's see. We have pictures of him as the new director. We don't know his character's name, though he says it's a manly name. Yes, a very manly name. And it's just a picture of him in a suit.
Right, so they're talking about the new director, and I would actually change the intro of this show if I would know the director's name, but I don't know it yet, so we're going to have to wait for that to re-record the intro. Also, interestingly enough, there was an article for fans petitioning for ABC to release the pilot for Marvel's Most Wanted. First of all, I don't know if a pilot exists. Second of all, there are 2 versions allegedly of the pilot, or at least parts of it, so I'm not sure that there's anything really to release.
There is a pilot because they filmed a pilot during pilot season. It's just apparently not very good.
Okay.
So,
well, that's it.
Adrian Palicki does not do well with pilots, apparently.
Wonder Woman.
Really seems like that.
Yeah, Marvel, whatever. Was she in the pilot?
Yeah, she's got to come in on an established show.
Was she in the pilot for Friday Night Lights?
I never saw Friday Night Lights.
I don't know. Well, in any event, so if you're an Adrian Palicki fan, please let us know if she's ever been in a pilot that has been successful. So, Lauren, you are a big Runaways fan, and Marvel's Runaway is coming to Hulu, right?
Yes, it is. I believe we talked about it a little bit last week. Nerdist has an article on it. And comicbook.com also has an article explaining a little bit about who the Runaways are. For example, they're the kids of supervillains. They have powers, mostly. And people have been wanting them to have their own movie, television show, whatever, for years, me included. So those are both pretty interesting articles. Take a look and read the comics, which I believe might have been on sale on Comixology either last week or they're still currently on sale, one or the other.
Sweet. I'll have to look into that. And then moving on into Avengers Infinity War, the directors tease new characters. Well, no duh. We're getting like a gazillion new characters, right? And a new beginning for the MCU. So it was basically billed in the article as a transition from the characters that we've come to know and love in the Avengers, characters like Iron Man, Captain America, and the original Avengers, into something new. So they're going to be, this is the transition period in Infinity War, and the directors are coming out and saying that. And I believe the last time I saw a count, it was like 68 or 69 Marvel superhero characters are going to be in Infinity Wars, or at least that's what they've been talked about.
They clarified that there were that many characters that could be in it, not that will be in it.
That's still a lot. Still a lot of possibilities.
I imagine we're going to see some people die in that movie.
Probably.
Yep.
Could be.
Or maybe retire, but probably die.
Hang up the spandex.
So next we have some Civil War deleted scenes information.
Yeah, with the release of the DVD coming soon, we're starting to see little bits of the special features. IO9 has a quick little deleted scene, and it's kind of cute. I wish they had kept it in the movie. It's a nod to all the characters who have been, wielding the shield since Steve died in the comics. So you see Bucky throw the shield, you see Sam catch it and then throw it. It's cute. It's just a little, minute-long scene.
Cute. If you haven't checked it out, the link to it will be in the show notes. And next up, we have an article from comicbook.com on Is Spider-Man Homecoming introducing Marvel's Silk character?
So Silk is a character who was introduced in the comics fairly recently, like last 5 years. And there's an actress, Reddit has a leaked casting call sheet. And there's an actress named Tiffany Espenson listed as Cindy. And a bunch of people are like, oh my God, is this Cindy Moon who ends up becoming Silk? We don't know.
So we're hoping to figure that out pretty soon, because I would like to see Silk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So moving on into Ant-Man, Michael Pena has confirmed he is returning for Ant-Man and the Wasp. It is going to be a fun movie. And
well, he's in the system now.
Yeah.
Baskin Robbins always knows.
That movie's great.
So that is going to be fun to see him on screen again. It's like Darcy not being in Thor. It just didn't have the same ring to it.
I know, and that makes me very sad for Thor Ragnarok because I'm going to miss Darcy.
Right.
I'm going to miss Jane too, but mostly I'm going to miss Darcy.
So the Russo brothers explained why Avengers 4 got a name change. And I think we talked about it before, but comicbook.com went into detail on it. And if you want to learn more about that, just check out the link. But it's basically a whole different movie from what we said before. Moving on to Vin Diesel, he is confirming that Guardians, and we talked about this in the GonnaGeek.com podcast earlier this week. Vin Diesel confirms that Guardians of the Galaxy is going to be a part of Avengers Infinity War. And our question on the GonnaGeek.com podcast, which I'm going to ask you two ladies, is do you think Marvel authorized him to do this, or do you think he just did it and Marvel rolled with it?
Well, he didn't immediately have a hole in his head, so the Marvel snipers must have been fine with it.
Right, so they just changed tactics and then said, we're going to shoot you. They were like, okay, yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, they're going to be in Infinity Wars, because Marvel hasn't said that he's wrong.
I think everyone had pretty much speculated that they would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They need that guy's arm, because it's important to them.
Yes.
We have more casting confirmations in Spider-Man Homecoming, don't we?
Yeah, so, well, possibly, because again, that leaked casting sheet from Reddit. Let's see, supposedly there's like an actor who's playing a character in the comics becomes Hobgoblin. Another character is going to be playing Betty Brant. Another actor is going to be playing Liz Allen. Zendaya is on the cast sheet as Michelle, but is supposed to be playing Mary Jane Watson, and we'll get to that in a bit. The one that has me kind of excited is Kenneth Choi, who you might remember from Captain America: The First Avenger, is listed as I think Principal Morita, and rumor has it he's supposed to be like the grandson of Jim Morita from First Avenger. Nice. So we'll see.
That would be nice, because we were talking about that. We would like to see Jim Morita around again when we watched Captain America: First Avenger. Also, we have the Mary Jane, which Lauren just mentioned, that everybody thinks that they've confirmed basically who Mary Jane is going to be. And it's not your traditional character, but everybody's saying get over it. And even Stan Lee is endorsing it.
Yeah. So Zendaya, who is, I think a singer. I don't know. I'm old.
She's one of those Disney actor singer things.
Okay.
It's basically Daisy, right?
She is listed again as Michelle, but then it got leaked. Oh, she's going to be playing Mary Jane. And people started flipping out. They're like, but she's not a redhead. The thing is, it really does seem to be more the fact that she's kind of like, I'm not sure what ethnicity she is, but it's not like white.
Right.
So a lot of it seems to be racism, because let's face it, Famke Janssen, not a redhead when she played Jean Grey, did not get nearly so much hate. So a lot of people are like, look, just get over it. A lot of Marvel people, including Stan Lee, which we linked in a different article from heroichollywood.com, are like, I think she's going to be great. Just whatever.
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, they chose her for a reason. She's going to be a great character. And again, we don't know who's making the casting calls, but Kevin Feige's really helming the movie. And
it seems like they're really targeting a very young audience for this. They're bringing in Disney stars. Well, Spider-Man looks like he's going to stay young for a while.
I know they're saying that they want to go for like the John Hughes Breakfast Club feel. And at the time, John Hughes was kind of like known for casting actual teenagers to play teenagers. And I think that's kind of what they're doing here. Well, yeah, it's, you know, the whole, what they call it, like, I forget what the trope is, but when you cast like 20, like 90210, where you cast like 30 some year olds to play 16-year-olds. which gave me a really weird view of high school when I was a kid. I was like, wow, none of the people that I'm going to school with look like they could be a parent right now. I mean, they could, in theory, be parents, and a lot of them actually were because, of the area where I
went to
live.
that kind of school too.
Yeah, but
any school's like that anymore.
But
abstinence only totally works.
But yeah, so I think that's kind of what they're going for here is casting with actual like teenagers.
Yeah,
which does put some restrictions on them as far as what they can do, which is why they don't usually do it.
Spider-Man was so good though in Civil War. He was such a great character. I mean, you had a lot of comic relief. You had Ant-Man, you had Spider-Man. It was a lot of superhero and fun, and I think it needs to translate into the individual movie here.
Really, my only concern for Spider-Man at this point is that they're going to put too many villains in it again.
Yeah. What I'm really hoping for, I'm so cautiously excited about the whole Breakfast Club Spider-Man thing because I love Breakfast Club, and I really want, like, I have this kind of nebulous picture in my head of Spider-Man characters. Like, they have, Flash Thompson and Liz Allen and Mary Jane and all these people in like detention or having to do, because it's called Homecoming. Maybe they're like sentenced to prepare for the homecoming dance as a punishment for something,
or they're just on the homecoming committee.
Exactly, they're on the homecoming committee. It's something. And it's just kind of these disparate people from all these different walks of life having to work together, and then they're super villains.
They get Peter Parker just to do the AV part.
Exactly. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for something just kind of fun, but with, the costumes and the occasional supervillain coming in to ruin prom.
Because all proms get ruined anyway.
Well, yeah, I mean, they didn't serve dinner at mine until 9 o'clock, so I was just like eating butter off the table. And then we were like, this prom is terrible. Let's go to Denny's.
So you could have been in Julia and Julia, whatever that movie was called. The Julia Childs.
Oh, the one about, Julia Childs, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even have bread. They didn't just serve us bread. All we had was butter, and I was really hungry.
And I was in a dress. And it's just...
Yeah, I was in a dress. I was really hungry.
We were smart with my prom. We just had finger foods. It's like, go get what you want all night. The food will be there. We're not serving an actual meal.
See, I wish they had done that because, like, seriously, I was hungry.
All right. I've been through some stuff, too. I'll have to tell those stories later. In the meantime, I'm ready to hear Lauren scream.
Yes.
Because...
I don't think I'm going to actually be screaming because I still kind of got a headache, but this news story is fantastic.
Let me read the headline and then you can take over. Russo brothers endorse Anna Kendrick as Squirrel Girl.
Yes. So Squirrel Girl is the best, and Anna Kendrick is also the best, and I would love if we got Anna Kendrick as Squirrel Girl. Let's have her be introduced in Infinity Wars and have her own movie or a TV series or something, and just have her having wacky adventures with squirrels and beating people up.
That's why they had to change the name of Avengers 4, because it's actually Avengers 4 Squirrel Girl. Yep.
It's good to me. Did you happen to see the comics, the Marvel comics that released this week?
I haven't read them yet. No.
No, but have you seen them?
I'm going to look now.
There was, maybe it was on the shelf from a previous week, but there was a Squirrel Girl on the rack. So.
Yeah, I really love the current run of Squirrel Girl. Okay, yeah, it is. There's a Squirrel Girl today.
There you go.
Oh, I love Squirrel Girl so much.
And the cover was pretty cool to see on the rack as well. And while we're talking about comics, just want to mention that the Steve Rogers Captain America #4 from Civil War II is a pretty good comic. It's all inclusive. It's got actually tie-ins to about 5 different books in there. And then also Captain Marvel #8 dropped today as well. Probably not as good, but the second best, in my opinion, Marvel comic that dropped this week. So if you haven't checked them out, go to your local comic book store or check your Comixology app, or I guess Marvel.com as well. You can buy this stuff there. So let's move on to talking about Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel
Yes.
Comics. Captain Marvel director search is narrowing.
Yes, there's down to 3, and they're all female directors, which I'm very happy about. The 3 directors shortlisted are Nikki Caro, Leslie Linka Glatter, and Lorene Scafaria. And let's see, Nikki Caro has done Whale Rider, which was really good. She also did North Country, McFarland USA, Zookeeper's Wife. Let's see, Leslie Linka Glatter has done mostly television. She did a bunch of she's the main director on Homeland, actually. She's done a bunch of episodes of Ray Donovan, True Blood, West Wing. And Lorene Scafaria has done Nick and Nora's Infinite Playlist, Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, which I liked, and The Meddler. And yeah, I don't know which of these I like better, but they all seem like pretty solid choices.
Andy, do you have anything to say about the 3?
The only one I've seen stuff from is Glatter. So.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll get a great one, and Marvel will stick with it, and there won't be any creative differences, as has happened in previous both DC and Marvel films recently. Anthony Hopkins, the man, has been spotted as Odin on Thor Ragnarok.
Yes, there's been some Instagram posts, and the one we're linking to is from Age of Geeks. And there's pictures of him looking somewhat unkempt and sticking his tongue out at the camera on set, kind of waving to the camera.
He looks like he's been on one of those Tony Stark benders in the donut.
Kind of does look like that. There were some other pictures, but they were deleted.
Aww.
But that one is still up.
And then also there was another Instagram picture of Chris Hemsworth and Mr. Loki himself, Tom Hiddleston, on the set as well in front of a newsstand. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's from Chris Hemsworth's Instagram, and it's just selling papers with my mate. And there's in the background, at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's cute. They're in costume, sort of costume. I mean, Chris Hemsworth like wearing a hoodie, which I guess could be his costume. And they're just chilling out on the set. But then I looked in the pictures in the back, the newspapers in the back say things like, has Thor returned? Thor something. This picture won't enlarge, but I saw one. It seems really obvious that it's part of the set dressing.
That would be something that you two could do amazingly. Like all the
Set dressing?
background newspapers and magazines and news stories that are up on the TV. You two could produce that. That would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So Marvel, once again, these two, they come as a set unless you offer one a job and not the other. And then you have to provide a weapon to figure out which
For
one.
the Battle Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they are available for you. So just contact me at Stargate Pioneer at GonnaGeek.com and I will act as their agent.
My husband had a former coworker who that's what his brother did. He was like the set dresser for a bunch of movies. He did like a bunch of Robert Rodriguez movies, but I found out that he did Selena, and that was like my fangirl moment.
Woo. Selena. That was a very popular movie. I mean, I believe it was more popular overseas or outside the United States than it was inside the United States.
What, Selena?
Yeah.
That's like a Texas movie. It's yeah.
I remember watching it on cable all the time as a kid.
I still watch it every time it comes on cable, and then I cry.
Well, I don't have cable
Because-
anymore.
Don't cry. Don't cry. No.
No, but she dies because that happened.
It's
And
Wednesday. Lauren cries. Okay.
If I hear that song, it's like, I know what happens during the song. You can't play that.
I was in Corpus when the standoff was happening, so and my dad met her before she died, so it was all kind of emotional at the time. My mom took us to her grave before they had to fence it off because people were leaving too much stuff there.
Oh, wow.
There's a Selena festival in Corpus every year, and I really want to go. Anyway, this is a Marvel cast, not a Selena cast.
It is. And since we're talking about Marvel and Marvel Comics, we're going to talk about X-Men. And yeah, the Gambit director is leaving.
Yeah. So Doug Lyman, left Gambit because he's going to go work on Justice League Dark.
This is the movie that's never going to get made.
It really seems like it.
Yeah. But let's get off the sad stuff and let's talk about cool stuff. And let's talk about people going to children's hospitals like Tom Holland wearing his Spider-Man suit.
This is so cute.
It's cool.
Last week, Tom Holland and a couple of other cast members took a break from filming and went to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta at Eggleston, yeah. Eggleston. And he wore his Spider-Man costume. And there's some pictures that is so adorable.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it when, actors do stuff like that when they show up to visit, sick kids.
Charity, whatever. I still have my superhero Super Bowl with the Captain America versus Star-Lord on it. That was pretty cool. And didn't get it for the Super Bowl. Got it a few weeks later, but I still wear it all the time. And not only Tom Holland, but Mr. Thor and Mr. Loki also did the same stuff, and they brought Meow Meow, and the kids had fun holding up Meow Meow.
Yeah, they went to I'm going to mispronounce this, I'm pretty sure, the Lady Salento Children's Hospital in Brisbane, Australia. Yep. And there's some absolutely adorable pictures that they posted on their Instagrams. They brought the hammer. Chris Hemsworth's wearing the Thor wig, and he's wearing just like jeans and a t-shirt. And Tom Hiddleston's wearing the Loki wig, and he's wearing like a black suit. And in Chris Hemsworth's, the kid's actually smacking Loki in the face with Meow Meow. It's adorable.
It is. So thank you once again to all the great Marvel actors that take their time to do this sort of stuff, because it's really important to lift the spirits of the kids. So we have a lot of great feedback, and some of the news stories that we talked about were also all referenced in feedback. Like Andy Migna tweeted us basically a reaction to the casting for Spider-Man, like Eric Goldman, the verified account from Eric Goldman. Aunt May will be decades younger and more attractive than in the comics. Cool. Mary Jane won't be white.
They're ruining it.
Go figure.
Yeah.
At Mr. Pericles.
People are terrible.
Gave us.
Except y'all. Y'all are awesome.
Yes, absolutely. At Mr. Pericles tweeted us and said, new director, and it was the TVLine.com article with Jason O'Mara as the new S.H.I.E.L.D. director. So thank you very much, Mr. Pericles. At Kodiak GWC tweeted us, and he said, could see this happening. And it's an IO9 Gizmodo article.
Ooh.
That Thor could be paying Doctor Strange a visit in Thor Ragnarok. So if you haven't read that, go and hit.
Oh, yeah.
link.
There's a picture of Thor holding a business card. And if you look, you can see it says 117A Bleecker Street, which is the comic book accurate address for Doctor Strange.
Oh, that's right. Pretty cool there.
That would be awesome.
Yep. So thank you very much at Richard at Kodiak GWC. And then Mr. Pericles tweeted us again and said, why not go with Iron Will? Oh, wait, that was a 90s Disney movie. And he's talking
I completely forgot about that movie up until now.
Talking about the Iron Man successor, Riri Williams, which I've been reading the comics, and I'm totally fine with this. And I think it's going to be great.
She
I think
will be called Ironheart, which I think sounds cool.
And I'm when you read the comics, you're ready for the transition. There's going to be some things going on with Tony Stark in the comics as they transition out, and just pay attention to what's going on. There's been some amazing stuff. I read International Iron Man today, or actually skimmed through it, and it was pretty cool, talking about Tony Stark's biological parents. So you should check that out if you're interested. And at Mr. Pericles tweeted us the same news story that we talked about with Odin and Ragnarok. So thank you, everybody, for filling us in. And then finally, we can't leave our feedback without talking about the great email from Andy about Daredevil. So take it away, Lauren.
Kingpin flashback episode or opening scene? Sweet. Prison politics? Fun to see Wilson rebuilt some crew inside. I really did like that. Deal with the devil. How poetic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Frank not being clever enough to understand Kingpin's double cross. What a shame. Shame. I see what you did there. Memories of Ben Urich's old office. Kevin Paxton Page. Oh, has to be about her brother. See, you saw it. I completely missed it after like
totally
two
missed it.
rewatches.
Thank you very much, Andy, for bringing that up too.
Intrigued if Karen will stay at the Bulletin and not return to Nelson and Murdoch. It's really seeming like she will. Like seems very comfortable there.
Mm-hmm.
All that blood draining in resurrected Nobu. Bottom line, now the stakes are getting higher and higher. 10 out of 10 Stargate sarcophagus flashbacks.
That's right.
As always, I love Andy's rating system.
Thank you very much, Andy. We do have more Andy coming at you, so pay attention to the bottom line ratings. Join the ladies next week as they discuss Daredevil Season 2, Episode 10, The Man in the Box. And with a potential special guest to be named later. You can always find our live streams at Geeks.
It's Lobster. Lobster's the special guest.
Lobsters, okay. So it's confirmed now? Lobster's confirmed?
Yes, it's confirmed.
Okay. You can always find out our live streams at geeks.live. We do have a website, legendsofshield.com, where you can find all the great ways to contact us, including our voicemail line, 844-THE-BUS-1 or 844-843-2871, which that will be important as we go into the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. season premiere just a few weeks away. So the next time we will be live will be in 2 weeks, as I said before. The next live show on the Gonna Geek Network will be tomorrow night, Starling Tribune, talking about Legends of Tomorrow. If you like Legends of Tomorrow, it's a great show to be involved with. The Starling Tribune actually normally covers Arrow, but Arrow is doing a summer hiatus. I can't imagine why. Same thing as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we had to find something to do over there, which was to go through Legends of Tomorrow, because Haley wasn't doing it on her like 4 DC podcasts. So we managed to do
Had
it.
other things to do.
I just want to thank everybody that dropped by both our Facebook Live. We got a lot of likes on the Facebook Live tonight, so thank you very much. And our live chat in Firetalk.com. Thank you very much for everybody that came, and we appreciate you.
And thank you to everybody who gets a hold of us on Twitter, whether you're just hanging out during the live tweets, whether you're sending us news, or just sending us stuff that you think we might like. We really, really appreciate it. And thanks, guys.
And thank you to everyone that's participating in our contests. Thank you to Born to Eat Bacon for sending his entry this week for the RFID shielded S.H.I.E.L.D. wallet. Remember, you too can be entered to win the S.H.I.E.L.D. wallet. All you have to do is send us a tweet, Facebook message thingy, email, or voicemail, or something like that, and let us know what you think Tony Stark would spend his money on that is ridiculous and will make us laugh.
Yeah, looking forward to your further contest entries for the S.H.I.E.L.D. wallet. Until next time, I'm Agent Stargate Pioneer.
I'm Agent Haley.
And I'm Agent Lauren.
I will see you guys in 2 weeks. The ladies will see you next week. Bye.
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 Thank you for listening. If you want to leave us feedback, go to gonnageek.com and you will find all of our contact information and other shows. You can also visit legendsofshield.com where you'll find our complete archive of podcasts. The music heard on this podcast is by Kevin MacLeod and can be found at incompetech.com. The opinions heard on this podcast are those of the individual host and do not represent Legends, Stream, or Gonna Geek. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is the property of the Disney Corporation. No infringement is intended.
That's new music.
It is.
It's actually old music.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Well, you should actually know about it because it was used during your Comic Palooza podcast.
Oh.
That and this one,
I can't
too.
remember. Okay, that
What
one
madness
sounds vaguely
is this?
familiar.
Those are actually bumps that I stole from my collection from Voices of Defiance, another podcast found at GonnaGeek.com about the sci-fi television show Defiance. I know Haley loves
R.I.P.
it when I plug all of the other casts on the Gonna Geek Network. So we're going to get into this one. It's Daredevil, 7 Minutes in Heaven. It was directed by Steven Surjek. He is not new to Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. As a matter of fact, he's not new to anything. He's got 46 total directing credits, stretching back to 1985. And no, it's not Back to the Future, but look at the amount.
Guys, I'm really sorry. I have to run because my cat's trying to eat something real quick. I'm still listening. Stop it.
Yes, the wheels just
Sorry.
fell off completely.
Sorry, my cat was trying to eat a little statue that a friend gave me of a sushi cat. And I
Because
think his cat's
sushi cats are made to be eaten. They're made out of fish, right?
No.
Raw fish, right?
No, they're made out of cats.
All right.
And in this case, I think they're actually made of resin.
All right, you know what? I'm just going to reset here. We're just going to redo this. So here we go.